exponentially, I probably got 40 deals from that one open house.
So the big question is, what are top agents doing to absolutely crush it in real estate? To get the answers, we interview the top real estate agents to learn their secrets to success. If you would like one-on-one access to over 26 of the top agents in the country to help you scale your business, then head over to eliteagentsecrets.com/partner, or you can just click the link in the description below. My name is Andrew Dunn.
And my name is Peter Michael. Welcome to Elite Agent Secrets.
Hey everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Elite Agent Secrets show. Today we are joined by Kerry Carr, who's been in real estate for 6 years, and in her first year in real estate in 2017 did 27 transactions, all the way to the last year of 2021 where she ended up doing 32 million and 90 transactions in total. She's now got a team under her belt, and she's also going to unpack how many transactions she's done in the year of 2022 already. Today we are going to be discussing how you can change careers. There's no secret sauce, and find your secret superpower. Kerry, thank you for agreeing to come on the show and share your secrets to success. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for having me. I love what you guys talk about every day, and I love this format for people to find out everything about real estate without having to struggle and try to figure it out on their own.
Get off the struggle bus, yeah.
I think there's always going to be that struggle there, though, right? Because even though it's right in front of us, we don't necessarily know what we have until we don't have it. But I'm sure it wasn't like that for you, you know, when you first started out, even though I know your background is coaching, as we were chatting a little bit offline. So give the audience a little bit of context of how you started in real estate and take us a little bit through your journey, because I know you have quite a unique story yourself.
Yeah, I've been a professional coach, like a real coach, not coach of real estate. I shouldn't say you're not real coaches. Sorry, Brad. But I mean a coach of a sport, where originally the idea of coach started. I worked for NCAA Division I women's volleyball team. Most recently, I did the last 20 years with University of Pennsylvania, which is a full-time job. You're out on the road recruiting. You're either at nights at practices, stuff like it's an 80 to 120 hour a week, whatever you eat, live, sleep, that lifestyle as a coach. If you want to be at the top, you want to win championships. And so when I got burnt out of that, a little bit burnt out, I decided to retire. And I use it in quotes because, retire, quote unquote, because you never really retire, but you just like say, hey, what else is out there? And by the way, coaches do not make money. So it's a job of love and passion. And so I thought, what other jobs can I go out and not make money at and have love and passion for? And real estate came up, like, hey, you like to look at homes, right? So everybody's dream of looking at HGTV and going, I could do house hunters, So I actually have been looking at it for the last 2 years of coaching. I bought and sold a couple of my own homes, try to do an investment property, stuff like that. And I just was really interested in it. And I thought, I want to try this out. I honestly kept one foot into the coaching world by starting a recruiting service, but very, very quickly didn't have time to keep that up and running because real estate took off like crazy, and it was fun.
So you went from working a job that was 80 to 100 hours a week to retire to still we're going to another job that's 80 to 100 hours a week. That makes sense. That's good.
Again, I wasn't retiring to slow down. I don't think I'll ever retire. It was more just like a burnout of the, trying to convince a 16-year-old girls to make a decision on their life, which affects your paycheck, was probably going to send me to an early grave.
Buyers are the same. I feel like I have to convince a 16-year-old girl to do anything to make an offer. It's above ask or whatever it is. So this is why you're amazing at this. You've been literally doing this for the last 25 years. So good transition.
You would be surprised at the parallels. So many parallels between recruiting, coaching, networking. I also fundraised for the athletics department. To get new locker rooms and uniforms, whatever. The parallels between that field and this field were tenfold. Like I can't even explain all the times that I used the skills in that job, in this job. And people are like, how were you so successful? Did people give you leads? Did people do this? And I'm like, I just used my skills from my previous job and it works. Obviously you said networking, convincing people to know, like, and trust you, you know, that's what this is about. Right. And that was my job before. I just had a different medium.
One of my instant questions here in your backstory, actually, as you started in 2017, is you actually had a pretty fucking successful first year. Like 27 deals in your first year in real estate is a successful year by pretty much anyone's standards. I want to unpack that a little bit more just because Sure. I want to know how you did it. I want to know, like, where were you generating the leads? Did you have a coach? Did you have systems? Was it kind of running around with your hair on fire? Like, what was that first year like? Because that's no joke. You basically averaged nearly 3 deals a month in your very first year.
Yeah. And I didn't close my first deal till April. So most of it was on the back end. Obviously, starting in January, doing all the work, I didn't have anything under contract to March and closed my first deal in April. And then everything else was beyond that. I will say it was, I always say there's a lot of luck involved, but I think you prepare for that luck. But it was doing just a lot of preparation. I had a fantastic manager. I walked in like 3 major brokerages and said, I want to interview. I thought I had to interview for the job. I didn't know they took anybody, like I was like, come with my notebook. This is why you should hire me. And I found an amazing manager that really quickly saw through to my personality type and said, ooh, she's competitive, and said, Carrie Carr, you want to work for me and I will put a carrot out here. You're going to work in our brokerage. You'll start at 50% or whatever. But the minute you get 3 deals under contract, we'll maybe up to 65, 10 deals, 75, like all of this, these carrots for me. That's all I needed to hear. Someone that understood me is, oh, this is a game. This is a competition. Okay, give me the scouting report and I'm going to win it. So like to me, it was just another match, another game, another Ivy League championship. Like, let's go. Right. So the other thing they did, this particular brokerage had a boot camp, and they actually did away with it, which I told them, big mistake, but they had a boot camp where you would go in 3 days a week into the classroom. And they would teach you how to call expires. And in the afternoon, you would call expires. They would teach you how to door knock. In the afternoon, you would door knock. They would teach you how to do all of these things. Then you go do it. And Tuesdays and Thursdays, you hung out in the office. And so those 2 things combined, hanging out in the office, in the copy room and the mail room, which was where my desk was as a rookie, right? I got to hear everything going on in the office. And very quickly, I found out who the best agent in the office was. And when you find out that best agent, she's still the best agent in the office. And you like really quickly, like a puppy dog, what can I do for you? Can I go with you to the open house? Can I set up your signs? Can I do this? Can I do that? That in the boot camp helped me really quickly. She gave me a bunch of open houses. I was her number one, person to just give stuff. And learning from other people, if you find out who the top 3 agents in the office are, and then just like follow them around. That was it. I wasn't a team. I decided I didn't want to work for anybody and I didn't want anyone to work for me. I just wanted to try to do this on my own. That and boot camp and trying everything out, everything in the world from calling people, cold calling. I really quickly found out I hated, but I was good at. That's not going to be a thing I'm going to like to do a lot. So maybe not do it, but it works. And just started doing every single thing. And from all of those different things, I got a deal. And then really quickly found out open houses were my thing that I did well. I always got a client from an open house, and I worked 52 open houses that year. 52. So I had a couple of weekends I didn't work. So you do the math real quick. Sometimes I was doing 4 open houses a week. Saturday, double, Sunday, double. I really quickly found out I liked it. I liked being in front of people. As soon as I was in front of people, they liked me. They trusted me. Even if they said they had an agent, they really didn't. And they wanted to work with me because I would tell them, give them something of value for free. And then it was like off to the races.
I think that's like one of the hidden, quote unquote, hidden secrets of real estate is get in front of people. Like, you should be a relationship first. Like, we focus on social media, online lead generations, like our jam. And like the biggest trick to getting them to convert at a higher rate than everyone else is just get in front of them as soon as you can. Just literally set up a meeting and get in front of them. And that's kind of one of the secret sources, because then they get to physically go, oh, this is that person on the other end of the phone, and you go and you do whatever. And I think it's the case in any sort of lead generation. It's like, get yourself in front of them. We did very well from open houses right away. I'm a big face-to-face person. Like, I love it. I like going out. I like being with people. Like, I'm very extrovert like that. And that's kind of my jam. So it makes sense for me that would work. And I think a lot of realtors are the same. You know, they just want to be in front of the clients, selling homes and doing all that good stuff. Hey, I just wanted to jump in here and let you know, if you would like access to over 26 of the top agents in the country to help you scale your business, then head over to eliteagentsecrets.com/partner, or you can just click the link in the description below. Now back to the show.
Well, like what Carrie said about coming in, like, most people are chicken shit to go talk to the top real estate agent when they're new. So, you know, kudos to you. That's not easy to do. That's kind of what I did when I came in, but I'm kind of fucked in the head. So most people kind of came in, but it's hard, right? It can be intimidating, but I'm like the same as you. It's like, I know I'm going to be good. I just need to learn this shit, and then I'm going to crush it. And that's what happens. So good for you. So any agents that are listening, just keep showing, like, as a top agent in my office or whatever, if somebody kept coming to me and wanting it, I would do it. But normally agents come to me once and then you never hear from them again. Right. And you know, I'm like, hey, you want to know what? And this is always a test I'll do. It's like, I'm busy today, but call me back next week around this time. And if they don't, I know that, to me, they're probably not going to make it, or they're not going to make their commitments. But if the odd person keeps coming, I'm like, I'll help them out, because I know that potentially if I help them out, they're going to do something with it. Because in my opinion, that very quick tell of who they are, they have the work ethic. Yeah. Like, just in that small snippet, they get back to you, they do this. That's the kind of things you need to be successful. If they don't possess that, it's going to be hard.
Yeah. It's that persistence, isn't it? It's water through rock.
Yeah. I think the other thing is that, you know, I do have a lot of people after that first year that came to me, rookies that wanted to be rookie of the year, whatever. And, you know, a lot of them failed because I'm like, just follow me, you know, just come with me and set up open house signs, come with me and do this. And a lot of them didn't come with me. And that's what I did, is I just said, how can I help? Can I carry this with you? And then all of a sudden I go from helping her set up open house signs to doing her open houses for her, because she wants to go to the shore or whatever. And then, you know, that you have to help. I think you have to be, I guess, when people aren't in the office as much now, that might be a little bit harder now. But I'm not going to get back to you. I'm not going to call you on the phone. But if you show up and say, you know, bring me lunch, and then we'll have lunch together. Yeah. You know, like, it's just, you bring them something of value. Like, give me a reason to do that. I think that's super important. I will say, I got a listing from a friend also during that boot camp period, and I did a listing presentation for her. And then it was horrible. Like, I cringe when I think about the listing presentation I did. I did it from the book, you know, and did a little pamphlet and stuff like that. It's just, that's fine. But there's this top agent I'm also looking at. It's fine. Just let me come do a listing presentation. I did that. She said, okay, thanks, Carrie. And then I went to boot camp the next day and found out everything I did wrong. And so I redid my listing presentation. I called her back up next week and I said, can I do the listing presentation? She's like, sure. So I came back and did the listing presentation again, the right way, 3 more times. And thank you to this friend that was patient with me. But the other agent was so busy, she never came back to that client to say, and she's like, you know what, Carrie, you've been here every week giving me a listing presentation. I'm going to go with you. And that, just because you're not giving me, she wasn't like a good friend. And she was friends with this other person too, but she was like, no, I just like it. Anna never called me back. Like, you are here every week asking me, can I do another listing presentation? From that's actually the one I did open house every week, because of course I priced it too high and I didn't do the right thing on it. But she didn't have to move right away. Also very unmotivated seller. I just want to see what I can get. And from that open house, I got 8 buyers. Not only I got a lot more buyers, but I got 8 buyers under contract that year alone. And I also track on a spreadsheet where every year where they come from. So there's a column that says where'd they come from, and then where'd they come from before that. Those 8 buyers, 6 of them bought another house, a move-up house, 2 years later and sold that house. So I got 3 more deals, like $1 million worth of deals off of a $189,000 house I did an open house for. Exponentially, I probably got 40 deals from that one open house. So it's really important. And I know you guys are going to unpack that, but like to track it, because then you see the magic of, oh my gosh, even though I'm doing all these things, don't forget to do an open house, Carrie, because 40 deals came from that. Like, don't be too big to do an open house.
So Carrie, I got to ask, because we got to dive into it, because everybody's now wondering is like, how the hell did you get 8 people under contract from one open house when most people forget to even bring in a sign-in sheet? So talk us through the process of what you've done from the open house to, I guess, somehow obtaining their information, to stay in touch with them, to then getting them under contract. Walk us through like your steps, because this is something I'm assuming that you've repeated over and over again, hence the number of transactions you're doing.
Sure. And I don't think, again, I might have misspoke when I say one open house. I meant open house on this property over a series of months.
Okay.
So maybe, 20 open houses. Because I will tell you, I ran an open house from 1 to 3 on Saturday and no one came. No one came.
I'm
and
there right now, literally as we're speaking.
So
it's
before you guys move on from that, the 1 to 3 thing, this is what I teach my team. For anybody that's listening, is that if you're there, basically I look at an open house of 2 ways to make money. One, if nobody's coming in, then you sit there for 2 hours and you make calls or you prospect, or you circle dial, you do anything because you won't be disturbed. So a lot of people like, oh, that open house sucked, nobody showed up. But what are you doing at the open house then if nobody shows up? Like, there's other things you can do at that open house to make money while people come in. So
that's what I do. Yeah,
exactly. And make sure you're there. Yeah. Anything.
All the social media. Perfect. That's where I learned how to do reels. That's where I do. So I don't have time to do social media. Like, who has time to sit there and, because I like to make it perfect, and all this stuff. So that used to be my quiet time. No kids, no interruptions, whatever. And I'd sit there and do all my social media posts, even if it was posting about the open house, but then prepare posts and send them and then do the reels and the walkthroughs. That's where I got all of it done. So you're right. I loved open house for the sheer reason is that no one was bothering me sometimes. But back to Peter's thing about not doing open house, I have had new agents that are like, open houses don't work for me. No one came. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Did you do 52 of them and then no one came? Like, it's a long game here. The next time someone comes, 5 minutes after I shut off all the lights and the door, and I teach this to my new agents on my team, like, you're going to do this. This is karma. Listen to me. You're going to turn off all the lights. You're going to walk out and someone's going to show up and say, I'm so sorry, I'm late for the open house. Can I see it? And you're going to be like, oh, God damn it. I got to go and turn on all the lights. That's the buyer you're going to get. That's the buyer that's going to love you for taking the extra time and taking time out of your day to explain everything and do everything. And they were just looking and they were just driving by. But to Peter's question, 3 months later, after I put them on an auto drip campaign of valuable information, they're going to be like, we went to all these open houses, but I liked Carrie the most because A, she stayed in touch with us automatically, not like legitimately like calling them or anything. I just put them on an auto thing. And number 2, she was the only agent that wasn't like looking at their phone, not paying attention to me, answered my questions, and stayed late for me. That's who I want my agent to be.
Coming back to that persistence again, isn't it?
Yeah.
I want to dive into your first secret, which is how to change careers later in life and hit the ground running, which is obviously what you did. So this is kind of taking a step back to the people that are maybe newer agents actually, and it's like, or maybe also more experienced agents who just haven't had their foot on the gas and they just feel out of touch. I think this might potentially also intertwine with that. So unpack why that's your first secret to success.
I think it's hard to change. And the older I get, the more I find it's hard to change, hard to embrace change. So I always, people are scared to change careers and get stuck. And I'm always like, life is too short. Do what you want to do. If you want to look at houses online, then go be a real estate agent. But do it with all your power, time, money. Don't just do it halfway, half-ass, like go out and actually embrace it. And I was just like starting a career at age, 49, 48 is not ideal because of whatever reason, but there's no one hiring you. Except for your clients, but there's not an age limit for this field. So for me, this was like, I just got to be the best at what I do. And so if I'm going to go into another career, I want to be the best. And I think I just said every reason of why I was successful changing careers late in life is I don't have time. I don't have time to go to school for this. I don't have time to sit around and figure this out. I have to hit the ground running. So I have to find out everything there is to know from the people that have done it before. Don't reinvent the wheel. Get a coach, whatever, get the answers right away and then just go out there and do it because you don't have time.
You're quite a self-motivated person, evidently, and you're also in sports previously, which means you're hyper-competitive by nature. There is a lot of agents, and we just know this is like an epidemic within the industry of like laziness. Like deals aren't coming to me, and it's like it's something that we all run into pretty much on a daily basis, whether it's agents on the other ends of deals and all this stuff, and they're not like, it's just rampant in the industry, sadly. And that's just a nature of the barrier being so low to enter. For our audience listening, if they are in a position where, they feel maybe a little bit more like that, where it's like they aren't hitting the ground running, they don't know where to look, what would be, if you were like, focus on this direction, if you were to be like, this is the one thing, if I was back there now that I focused on, I would focus on, that will get you those deals, that will get you that consistency coming in, what would it be?
Oh, you say one thing, it's like coming up with one word or whatever. So it's just figuring out what motivates you to get out of bed in the morning. So for me, I'm competitive. You hit the nail on the head. So I want to win. So if someone says there's a Rookie of the Year award at the end of this year, or if you do this many deals, you will get a pay raise. I put this in all of my contracts on my teams. Like, if you do this many deals, you will get your commission splits go up. I want them to stick around. Right. So, I motivate everyone like I'm motivated, which doesn't work for everybody, but a competitive person like me is like, find out what your motivation is. If it's money, if it's success, if it's a new house, if it's to win, to be the best, find out what that motivation is and then just lean into it, because you're going to have times that when the alarm goes off at 5:30 a.m. and you got that 6 a.m. call, and I'm in 6 a.m.ers and everything like that. It's like, you're not going to want to get up and you're not going to want to work out. You're not going to want to do this. You're not going to want to do all the things you need to be successful. But if your motivation is there, like, if I don't get up, someone else is going to get the deal. Well, that's my competitive strategy.
I think that's the thing, the difference between winners and losers. Like everyone on this podcast right now, it's like we all have that same thought process where it's like we want to make a lot of money, we want to win, and we go out there and we hustle every day as if you got no dollars in the bank. Like it's just that mentality of like, I'm going after it every single day. Thanks for listening to this episode. If you would like one-on-one access to over 26 of the top agents in the country to help you scale your business, then head over to eliteagentsecrets.com/partner, or you can just click the link in the description below.